Please be seated, everyone. It is, of course, Founders' Day coming up on Saturday. So I'm going to fire some questions at you as to what Founders' Day or who our founder was. So I look into the front row, Greg. What was the name of our founder? Well done. C.W. Lonsdale. So I look across to Miss Munro. Miss Munro, do you know what C.W. stands for? First name? Well done. Your friends are supporting you. Christopher. And how about the W, Mr. Lupton? Wensleydale. That's the name of a cheese. What? Windley. Christopher Windley Lonsdale was our founder. There's a fantastic statue of him in front of the main building. Some mischievous students decided to give him a sort of red trident. I don't know whether it was a devil's trident or a Poseidon trident, and a black and gold hat yesterday. Brilliant, whoever came up with that. But please take it down in advance of Founders' Day. And I just thought I'd say a few things about CW. He was English. He was educated at Westminster School in London. He was hopeless academically. In fact, reading his 1902 report card for math, it says, very bad. Has made no effort. He, in fact, was a bit of an embarrassment to his family. He was a bit of a rebel teenager. His father, his brothers had gone on to Cambridge University or potentially a career in the church, but not CW. He was what was called a remittance man. His parents gave him a lot of money to leave the country. He was a bit of an embarrassment to the family name. So he headed to Canada. He also rather naughtily made up a degree. He claimed he'd gone to Durham University, but we've done the research. He didn't. He did many jobs when he was here. I'm not saying I'm advocating for deception and lying and mendacity there. But he did come to Canada, and he found himself here. He tried lots of jobs, and one day he decided, in the middle of the First World War, what year was the school founded? Mr. Lynn? 1916. He decided, I'm going to open a school. And it wasn't called Shawnigan Lake School at the start. It was Lonsdale School. And he built a school out of the Canadian wilderness. This was actually a sort of rainforest area. And he was head of school. His name is up there for 36 years. He was the one who introduced Parmam Kimerat Ferat as our school motto. Where does that motto come from originally? Which famous admiral had that motto? Well done. I was going to give you the clue of one eye, one harm. And in fact, if you look back, Mr. Hydley was related to Horatio Nelson, the admiral, and I do believe there was once upon a time a Horatio Hydley out there. He also loved the Founder's Prayer that we sometimes read in chapel, and we will read on Saturday, and he chose the school hymn, Voice in the Wilderness. And I think we need a bit of a training on this in advance of Saturday so we can show the alumni that we really know how to sing it in a beautiful way. So I've got our wonderful organist on the piano, and I've also got Miss Bryant to come up and teach us a little bit about it. Wherever she is, right behind me, over to you, Miss Bryant.
All right, hello everybody. Okay, so we'll be doing There's a Voice in the Wilderness, and I'm told that we're not actually supposed to hold on to that very first note. So rather than singing, there's a voice, we're just gonna sing, there's a voice in the wilderness. Okay, so that's the first little tip that I'm going to give. Another little tip, it's been brought up to me that we are not the best at listening to each other and listening to what amazingly beautiful music is coming out of that organ. So I actually have Miss Daniel here at the piano, and she's going to play for you the very first verse, and you're just going to listen to how that sounds, okay? So I'd like you to really focus on what that sounds like. So I'll let her play just the accompaniment. So listen to that, please. Sing along in your head. Interesting. Have you heard that before? Yes, good. Okay. The next thing I'd like you to do, you're going to sing, but only some of you are going to sing. And before you sing, I would like you to take your right hand and raise it in the air, please. Okay? And I want you to put it on your stomach, the top of your stomach like this. Okay? And I want you to repeat after me, and you should feel some movement happening there in your belly. It should. Repeat after me, please. Put your hand up if you feel movement. Okay, if you don't, you should. Those muscles should be contracting right in there. Should be similar to if you were doing some sit-ups or crunches, okay? Repeat after me again. Good. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to take a nice breath. When you breathe in, you're going to relax your shoulders. They're not going to come up when you breathe in. And you're going to breathe out, going until you're all out of air. And let's see who can last the longest on this. So breathe in. Keep it going. You should be tensing the muscles in here. Keep it going. Oh, that lung capacity. Just stop when you're done. Impressive. Although I think some of you took some extra breaths in there. All right, that's good. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Shh. So those muscles that are contracting when you do that, believe it or not, are the same muscles that are working when you're singing. This is your workhorse. These muscles in here, okay? So rely on those to create some really nice long phrases, right? Your first phrase, there's a voice in the wilderness crying. Hold that last note a little bit. Breathe there. A call from the ways untrod, right? Hold those notes nice and long, then take a nice low breath and use those muscles again. Okay. If your birthday is between January and June, will you please stand up? Quietly, please. Shh. Quietly. Those of you who are sitting, you get to listen. But those of you who are singing will also be listening. Okay? Your ear needs to be able to multitask. You need to listen to your own voice. You need to listen to the voice of your peers. And you also need to listen very intently to the piano or organ that is accompanying you. Okay? What are we doing with that first note? Not holding it. Okay? Nice and short. There's a voice. Shh. Miss Daniel is going to play the intro, and you, those that are standing, will sing the first verse. Here we go. Just yet, but I want you to give a 1 through 5 on your hands for how good you thought that was. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I'm going to give them a 5. Great. Okay, hands down. Next group, if your birthday is between July and December, please stand up. Quietly, please. Okay, this group, let's do verse number 4, please. Oh, it's the same. Okay, do verse number 4. And remember, strong muscles, listening to each other. Listen for that intro, please. Excellent. Sit down, please. I'm going to ask Miss Daniel to go head back to the organ. And the next step is going to be to sing it all together. How do we feel about the word highway? Do we want that held too? Right now it's sounding very highway. Can we hold that note a little bit longer? I think the strength of it will be even more effective if you sing highway. No? Oh, okay. Let's hold it just a little bit longer. Doesn't have to be super long, but with strength, okay? Highway, rather than highway. Because I don't understand what you're saying when you do that. Okay. So everybody, I know you're excited. It's really fun to learn about singing. Let's all stand up together because Miss Daniel is now at the organ. And quietly, please. And listen, tune your ears to the organ. It's a very different sound than the piano, okay? But let's start from the beginning with that lead in, okay? Here we go. All right, you may sit down quietly, please. So the biggest takeaway from this, I think, is to sing nice and strongly, using those muscles that are in our bellies, and listen. Listen to each other, but especially listen to the organ, because Miss Daniel is the timekeeper, and if you're listening to what's happening there, then you're not going to get too far ahead, okay? We'll be together if we listen. Great? Thanks, everybody.
A lot of enthusiasm and fun there, and thanks, Miss Bryant, for doing that. Great to have you conducting us and guiding us with our hymn singing here. I can't tell you how many members of staff say to me, Miss Grass, our organist, the Welsh tenor, Mr. Samuel, it would be great if we could actually have some guidance as to how to sing these hymns as a community. So thanks for having the courage to stand up here, and we look forward to having many more lessons on developing our hymn singing abilities. But I mentioned the Welsh tenor. I'm going to pass over to Senior Master, Mr. Rod Samuel, to give you a little insight as to what does Saturday really mean beyond C.W. Lonsdale, the founder of the school.
Good afternoon, and well done on the singing. I can tell you right now, there's not many places in Canada that can sing like this community here. And it makes my heart flutter. So well done to all of you. And keep going. There's so many great hymns in that book that we can practice and sing as well. So anyway, Saturday, yes, Founders Day, where we honor our headmaster, of course, who conceived of the idea of having this campus about 106 years ago. And it is certainly a beautiful campus for us to look after. These days, as many of you know, I work in the alumni office, and I'd like to share with you a little of the history of this day on Saturday. It's a homecoming or a reunion for our alumni. And this is how it goes. Because it's now 2022, we invite home the classes ending in a 2. Starting with the alumni that would have graduated 10 years ago, so that's the class of 2012. Then it goes back to 2002, 2092, 1982, 1972, 1962. I think I said one of those wrong, but excuse me. But believe it or not, we've got one guy driving up from California who graduated in 1952. That was before I was born even. So amazingly, he's celebrating his 70th reunion this Saturday. Anyway, we invite a special group of grads who graduated 25 years ago. And believe it or not, we have one of those sitting in the chapel today. If you look around, you might see him, and he's a male. But anyway, I'll leave you guess who that is. The homecoming weekend typically starts with alumni gathering in various locations in the Cowichan Valley or in Victoria on Friday evening to reminisce and share stories about their days at Shawnigan. On the Saturday morning after registration, the alumni will sit with you here in chapel. The place is always packed. The chapel is the place, believe it or not, that the alumni speak fondly of, and they really miss the community singing. They're coming home. They're very happy to be here. Once the singing starts, the tears start to flow. After the Founders Day Chapel, the alumni enjoy lunch followed by campus tours, various hosted activities, sports matches. I believe the grade 9s are playing rugby on Saturday against St. George's. There's a special lunch for those who graduated 50 years ago. It's called the Gold Club Lunch, and they're all handed out certificates for making that milestone. And the day ends with a reception and dinner in Marion Hall that evening for them all. Each one of you will be part of the alumni community someday, some sooner than others. Many alumni stay in touch with the school and with one another, and we have had over 300 alumni visit the campus this last year. Some volunteer to be class captains, others regional ambassadors, others act as mentors. Tomorrow, or is it on Friday, many alumni will be helping with career sessions. And I find them to be a tremendous resource. They help us with engagement and networking all over the world. And the Shawnigan network certainly is all over the world, and it is certainly a small community when you're out there, when you've left the school. Many alumni come back and speak in chapel, others as guest speakers in classrooms, and some have returned to be teachers and house directors. Over 60% of our board members are alumni. we certainly wouldn't have the campus we have today if it wasn't for the help of some of our alumni community. For example, Jim and Catherine Shaw, the Shaw Science Labs, the Friesen Centre, Mitchell Hall, John Leckie, to name a few. John Leckie, by the way, was the guy that gave us the rowing pavilion, the rugby pavilion. He extended this chapel 5 times. And just before she passed away, he told his mother to donate the building to the school. And that is, what's her name? Her name was Marion Hall. So we were very, very lucky with so many of these alumni that are given back. And the other place where alumni are very good in my mind, they create scholarships. They support bursaries and financial aid as well, that many of you, of course, are beneficiaries of. So I'm speaking on here, I'll stop right there, but you might be asking yourself, what role can I play on Saturday? The magic of this place, for me and for Mrs. Samuels, we've been here 28 years or 29 years now, is the conversations, the connections, the sense of community, and the friendships forged through these shared experiences. I think old C.W. Lonsdales will be happy to see the Shawnigan of today. It is certainly a beautiful campus and setting, and let's work hard to keep it that way. So what can you do? Well, if you see any litter on the floor, pick it up. Don't walk past it. There's too much litter on this beautiful campus of ours. So do yourself a favor, pick it up. All right? And don't feel embarrassed to pick up any litter yourself. Wear your number ones on Saturday, proudly. I can tell you right now, the uniform has never looked as good. We've actually got uniform at last that are the true school colors, black and gold. In my 27 years here, or no, I'm going to say about 25 years, it was blue and a mixture of all sorts of things, but you're looking terrific. So on Saturday, you'll be wearing your number ones to breakfast, and you'll be wearing your number ones to lunch, and you'll be wearing your number ones all morning. And then when you go to sport, you make sure, folks, that you dress in your Shawnigan gear for sport, which is black and gold. All right? Make sure that your ties are made up, that no skirts are rolled up, all right? And make sure your shoes are clean, all right? But the key thing, all right, for me, is reach out to these alumni. They are happy to be back. They'll be happy to see you. Connect with them. Don't run to, if you see one coming along, don't run the other way. Make a connection. Say hi. Smile. That goes a long, long way. Tell them about the school of today. They'll be interested to hear from you. All right? And last but not least, sing well in chapel, so they know they've come home and they feel good already. Okay? So there we go. A little summary for you there on what our alumni do, and they're really looking forward to seeing you. Take care.
Beautifully articulated, Senior Master. Over to MCB to give you a little insight into Friday and student life.
Afternoon, folks. I'll be very brief. Let's come back a day from Saturday. Friday, the whole day is professional development for staff. For you guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update, a broad brush idea of what's going on. Your house directors, house staff, teachers can fill in the gaps. What's the purpose of Friday for you? It's making sure that you guys are able to take one step forward on your Shawnigan journey. What is the Shawnigan journey? Well, it means a different thing for all of you. Of course, some of you are a few months in. Some of you, grade 12s, you're coming and looking at the end, even as we're just in October. As a school, we're really looking at this from grade 8 through to grade 12. What do we really want to be central and integral parts of that Shawnigan journey? One big piece is making sure that you're happy, healthy, and ready for life once you leave Shawnigan. What's going to happen to do with this is grade 8 to 10. You will be taking part in Shawnigan Wellness, or our Swell Day, We're going to have posters that will be put up in-house and all around campus that will give you details, but I'll give you a little bit of a look at it. What we're going to do is have sessions from grade 8 to 10 that will focus on drug and alcohol education, cyber safety and digital literacy, and of course the thread that binds those together, mental health awareness. How can you take care of yourselves so that you can take care of each other and prepare yourself for once you leave Shawnigan? What we're going to have is external experts coming in and delivering sessions on those topics. These posters that I referenced will have QR code signups, and contradicting the usual message I'm telling you, we will be signing up during the advisor lunch tomorrow using your cell phones. Do bring your cell phones to Marion Hall tomorrow for your advisor lunches, because you're all going to be signing up at that point. The meal times are the same, classroom dress should be worn, and you'll have staff mixing with you as well. The idea is the resources from these sessions will be collated and used as resources for our internal educators, the HCE classes, advisors, house teams, and your parents and guardians to be able to be cited of those messages, and they can carry on the conversation with you. We'll keep those conversations rolling until December the 2nd, and then we'll start again with a new list of topics and ideas that are just as important. Grade 11 and 12 students, like Mr. Samuel said, people will be here and you'll be based in the main building. You'll have alum, you will have board members, and you will have other really interesting professionals who will be talking to you about what you want to do professionally or with your lives once you leave Shawnigan. Like I think I said, the structure of the day is the same in terms of meals, and the key will be a really good follow-up from us. We hope you're really looking forward to the day. It's really going to be valuable. Thanks for your time.
Very well launched, MCB, and thanks to you and Miss Conroy and others for putting it together. We do have a special guest in here today. I did notice he slipped in. I have a former student here, Harry Bahadar Tamang. He's going to be opening the Model United Nations tomorrow. He's from Nepal, came to Norway on scholarship, is now at the College of Idaho in the US on scholarship. He's been to the Arctic with 100 global leaders to discuss the big questions. He is going to be presenting tomorrow. He's been in some classes already, I think physical geography class with Mr. Plater. He's been into some entrepreneurial classes. You might have seen him in lunch. Harry, could you just stand up and we'll give you a Shawnigan welcome. He's with us all week, so if you see him around, go and sit next to him at a mealtime, and I'm sure you've got lots to talk about. And let's show him how we sing here. We're going to go for, and I want you to do this in silence, just to show him how well trained we are. It's going to be hymn number 7, How Great Thou Art, Lonsdale's, given we've been talking about Lonsdale. So, in silence. And a great lesson from that, off the back of what Miss Bryant said about listening to the organ. There were a couple of times where we were a bit impatient and we dove in there a little bit early. I think Lonsdale's will be sending Miss Bryant over to give you some training just on the timing there going forward. There is going to be a film coming out on who C.W. Lonsdale was. That's going to be shown in houses, so next time I pick on people in the front rows, you'll know the answers to that. If you put your hand up if you've not been to the school museum. Be honest. Right up, right up. You're all missing a real treat as to our history and where we come from at Shawnigan. Let's try and change that in the ways ahead. I am going to say, formally, having had a letter submitted to me by the two heads of school, that grade 12s, I am going to give permission for the separate jackets that you wear, distinct from the rest of the school moving forward. I'd love to see Pemba, Yang Chen, and Hurry in chapel, and Marina after this. I'm going to let the staff go as the organ plays out, and look forward to a great couple of days.